20 snakes that messed with the wrong opponent. Get ready for jaw-dropping scenes from the wild. From surprise attacks to unexpected turnarounds, these snakes thought they would be the predators, but ended up facing enemies far more dangerous. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now let's begin. Number 20, snake versus cat. Picture the scene, a dusty ground, particles floating in the air, the sun blazing overhead. On one side, the snake, its elongated body, muscles coiled like a spring ready to strike. Its silence is intimidating, almost as if time itself has stopped. On the other side, the cat, eyes locked in, pupils narrowed into slits, tail swaying slowly, a sign of tension, but also of confidence. The cat knows it faces a deadly enemy, yet it does not back down. The snake is patient, dangerous. Its venom, depending on the species, can paralyze within minutes. Every movement is calculated. A strike can reach nearly 50 km/h in fractions of a second. Imagine that. A silent lightning bolt, an attack that offers no second chance. Its muscular body is both weapon and armor. It can coil, grip, and suffocate. Its terror lies in precision and reach. But across from it is the cat, and it is no mere spectator. If the snake is an arrow, the cat is the wind that bends it away. Feline reflexes are extraordinary. Studies show they can react in less than 70 milliseconds, faster than a blink of an eye. Its claws, retractable razors combining speed and impact. And don't forget, the cat fights with its mind as much as with its body. It feints, distracts, pretends disinterest, only to deliver the perfect blow when the snake overextends. Now, imagine the duel. The snake raises its head, body forming that classic S, ready to strike. The cat flattens its ears, tenses its paws, and the tension is almost tangible. The strike comes fast, a sharp snap in the air, but the cat leaps aside with the grace of a shadow. Claws slash against scaly skin. The snake recoils, hisses, but the feline persists. Attack, retreat, attack. Each movement is a display of agility, like a deadly ballet against reptilian coldness. Snake's strengths, lethal venom, lightning fast strike, strong body. Cat's strength, superhuman reflexes, strategy, the ability to learn and adapt mid-fight. And then, after a game of patience and reflexes, the cat finds its opening, a precise strike at the exact moment the snake misses. The feline pins its head with claws and, with a quick bite, seals the serpent's fate. In the silence that follows, the cat licks its paw as if it had only been playing. The winner? The cat. Not by brute force, but by turning agility into a weapon, intelligence into a shield, and instinct into strategy. The snake may be lethal, but against such precision, it becomes nothing more than a moving target. So tell me, after this, are you more like the snake? Direct, dangerous, betting everything on one perfect strike? Or like the cat, cunning, patient, playing before winning? Number 19, snake versus dog. The snake, silent, cold, patient. A cord of muscle and venom wrapped in scales that glint like blades. It doesn't need to run, bark, or warn. It waits, coiled like a spring ready to release. When the moment comes, it fires. Speed, the eyes can barely follow, fangs delivering venom in an instant. Or if it's a constrictor, a deadly embrace that squeezes the air away. The snake is the master of the ambush, the animal that turns silence into death. The dog, on the other hand, is pure energy, instinct mixed with loyalty, courage, and above all, movement. Where the snake is stillness, the dog is chaos, running, barking, jumping, charging. Its bite is powerful, teeth sinking through skin and muscle with ease. And its agility. Dogs don't stay still. They circle, distract, force mistakes. The snake holds its ground, waiting for the strike. The dog doesn't. It wears the snake down, confuses, pressures. And if we're talking about breeds trained for hunting or protection, the difference grows. Sharpened reflexes, doubled courage, nearly endless stamina. The clash is inevitable. The snake rises, coiled in S form, ready to strike. The dog barks, lunges, retreats, provoking. It's patience versus energy, precision versus pressure. The snake's strike is almost invisible, but if it misses, it's wasted. And the dog knows this. It dodges, returns, bites. A well-placed bite in the right spot can end the fight. The snake, however, only needs one perfect hit, its venom flooding the bloodstream to turn the tables. Still, in most real encounters, the advantage goes to the dog. It has more mass, more stamina, more chances to land multiple attacks. The snake depends on a single perfect move. move. If it fails, it's over. No matter how deadly, snakes weren't made for long battles. Dogs were. Winner, the dog. Strength, agility, and the ability to recover from mistakes outweigh the snake's lethal precision. Now tell me, if it were you in the dog's place, facing that raised snake, eyes fixed, tongue flicking the air, would you have the courage to charge? Or would you stay back, hoping the dog wins? Because courage is exactly that, moving forward even knowing the danger. So what are you, more like the snake, patient and deadly, or like the dog, restless and fearless? Number 18, snake versus eagle. The snake, a living rope of muscle, pulsing with instinct. It has no legs, no wings, but what it lacks in limbs it makes up for in efficiency. Its weapon is silent, needle-like fangs, venom that can shut down hearts in seconds. Its entire body is a tool of strangulation, coiling, squeezing, cutting off air, dismantling prey in silence. Patient, calculating, striking with near-invisible speed, like a released elastic band. The eagle, the queen of the skies, a predator carrying the crown of the heavens. Its vision is legendary, able to spot movement on the ground from kilometers away. Its talons are curved daggers, sharpened not just to grip, but to tear. Its wings are a mix of power and precision. With a single beat, it gains speed, altitude, advantage. The eagle doesn't wait for the fight. It dives upon the enemy with the force of a god's arrow. Snake versus eagle, earth versus air, venom versus velocity. Who wins? The snake bets on ambush. On the ground, it rules, crawling silently, positioning patiently, waiting for prey's mistake. Its bite, if it lands, is a death sentence. But the eagle doesn't fight on the ground. It attacks from above, surprise from the skies, strategy in 3 dimensions. Before the snake realizes, the sky has already fallen on it. The venom may be deadly, but for the snake to use it, it needs a perfect bite. The eagle only needs one chance. Grip with talons, lift into the air, and drop. The ground ends the battle. Brutal, fast, efficient. Winner, the eagle. The queen of the skies not only has the strategic advantage, but also drags the snake into a world where it is powerless. The air. Without ground, without support, without escape, the serpent stops being a threat and becomes prey. And now tell me, which side are you on? Do you admire the snake's cunning, patience, and lethality? Or cheer for the eagle, the flying machine of precision and power? Choose carefully. One day you might cross paths with either. Will you be looking up? It wins with venom. Hollow fangs carry toxins strong enough to drop buffaloes. It moves like a stretched elastic, eyes locked, forked tongue sweeping the air like radar sensors. When it strikes, there is no hesitation. A sharp snap, precise, almost invisible to the human eye. Venom surges like lightning through veins, shutting down systems, collapsing muscles, felling giants. In battle, the snake bets everything on one thing, the perfect bite. Enter the honey badger, small, stocky, and with a reputation fierce enough to make lions think twice. It isn't called the world's most fearless animal for nothing. Its skin, thick as boot leather, nearly impossible to pierce. Its body, flexible like a fighter slipping out of a lock at the last second. Its attitude, explosive. The honey badger doesn't just face snakes, it hunts them. Yes, serpent hunting is part of its menu. It charges without fear, biting, ripping, crushing bones with jaws like tiny hydraulic presses. The snake's advantage lies in distance, a quick strike, lethal venom, the invisible threat of collapse. But against the honey badger, that card fails. Why? Because the badger has danced this dance countless times. It can take the bite, withstand the venom, and even if it passes out for a few minutes, guess what? It wakes up, shakes it off, and comes back to finish the job. Death seems to give up on it. In this matchup, the snake strikes, precise, venomous. The badger stumbles, sways, but doesn't fall. And when it returns, it comes back angry. The serpent's quick strike meets even quicker jaws, and its thick hide renders venom almost useless. The end? The snake coiled and crushed between merciless jaws. The honey badger chews, swallows, and moves on. The winner? The honey badger, without question. A tank the size of a small dog, with the boldness of a gladiator and the resilience of a superhero. Now, let's be honest, if you had to pick one to be by your side in a risky situation, who would it be? The lethal snake, capable of dropping you with a single bite, or the honey badger, who faces lions and comes back laughing? I know my choice, but beware. If you pick the honey badger, don't leave it near your fridge, because unlike the snake, it'll open the door, eat everything, and still look at you like it owns the house. Number 15, snake versus wild boar. Picture the scene. On one side, gliding with the silence of a liquid shadow, the snake. It doesn't matter if it's a muscular python or a venomous cobra. Both bring a lethal arsenal. Snakes are pure specialization, muscles coiled like steel cables, a jaw that opens beyond human limits, and fangs that pierce skin like hypodermic needles. When they attack, there's no warning. It's as if nature invented a teleport punch. 1 second, calm. The next, a whip crack strike. Venom, it can paralyze, destroy tissue, and even kill an elephant, depending on the species. Constricting power, strong enough to break bones and squeeze the air out of any victim. A deadly embrace. In short, the snake is the ninja of the animal world. Stealthy, lethal, precise. Then the wild boar shows up. No subtlety, no sneak attack. It's the personification of wild chaos. Compact, low to the ground, packed with muscle and a thick leather-like hide. The boar doesn't enter fights. It crashes into battles. Its curved tusks, daggers growing from the jaw, can open flesh like a razor. And they're not just weapons of attack, they're defense too. Each head swing warns that if the snake misfires its strike, it can be turned into sashimi in seconds. On top of that, wild boars are tireless. Ever heard of pig-headed stubbornness? Imagine that at gladiator level. It doesn't back down, doesn't quit, doesn't fear. If the snake is calculated and precise, the boar is raw fury, an avalanche on 4 legs. Now, put those forces face to face. The snake advances, hood raised, forked tongue tasting the air. The strike is fast, almost invisible. But here's the detail. The boar isn't just any prey. Its hide is too thick for fangs to anchor easily, and its energy is a muscle earthquake. One wrong move and the boar hits like a medieval battering ram. Picture a wrecking ball with tusks. That's what the snake is up against. Worse, while venom takes seconds or minutes to act, the boar's brute force is instant. One impact, one cut, and the snake can end up in 2 pieces or slammed into the ground. In the end, it's no use. As deadly as the serpent is, against an adult wild boar, the scales tip toward the warrior swine. The venom may be terrifying, but the boar's toughness and aggression make it the indestructible tank of this duel. Result? The snake becomes just another detail on the boar's menu. If not as a meal, then as an obstacle bulldozed aside. Winner, wild boar. Brute force, endurance, and ferocity trump speed and venom. And now I ask you, if you had to face one of these in an imaginary arena, would you take on the silent, venomous, treacherous snake or the explosive, ruthless, furious boar? Think carefully, because in the end, the real loser might be you for daring to imagine this fight. Number 14, snake versus kangaroo. The Australian horizon burns. On the left, sliding with hypnotic movements, comes the snake. Cold, silent, pure strategy, concentrated in muscles like steel ropes. On the other side, upright like a boxer ready for the bell, the kangaroo. Agile, strong, with legs capable of launching kicks that would make any MMA fighter think twice before stepping into the ring. The snake, master of the ambush, carries a weapon that needs no introduction. Venom. Depending on the species, a single bite can stop a heart in minutes. Big or small, a well-placed bite is a near-instant sentence. And the reflexes? Impressive. A strike can hit in under 1/3 of a second. Try dodging that. Not easy, right? The kangaroo plays a different game. Brute force. Its kicks are natural jackhammers, capable of breaking bones with ease. And it doesn't fight with legs alone. Its forepaw claws can grab and rake, while the tail acts as a solid brace, giving perfect balance for precise blows. Don't be fooled by the bouncy animal look. Kangaroos are extremely territorial. When provoked, they become living walls, ready to crush whatever dares to cross their path. Now imagine the clash. The snake glides, seeks an angle, the perfect strike. The kangaroo keeps distance, side hopping as if to taunt. Go on, try me, I'm ready. If the snake lands a bite, even on a leg muscle, the venom could flip the match in minutes. But getting there is the problem. A single well-placed kick can launch the snake meters away, maybe even crush its body before the strike happens. In the end, it's precision versus power. On one side, the snake, patient, fast, lethal, but fragile if it misses. On the other, the kangaroo, resilient, powerful, wielding force that can turn a predator into a memory. When they meet at survival's edge, the balance tips. Winner, the kangaroo. Not because it's immune to venom, but because its agility, stamina, and devastating blows make the snake's approach almost suicidal. In open terrain, where the reptile can't hide, the marsupial prevails. So tell me, would you rather face a kangaroo's kick or a snake's venomous strike? Tough call, huh? Here's some advice. Best to watch this battle from the bleachers of imagination, far from the arena. Number 13, snake versus fox. The snake slides across the ground like a living shadow. Its serpentine body is pure muscle, each scale flashing a metallic warning. It doesn't run, it waits. Silent, patient, venomous. The snake's attack is a sudden snap, almost invisible to the human eye. In under half a second, the head darts and the fangs sink in. Surgeon-level precision with assassin-level lethality. That's its power. Venom, the toxin that can turn even a scratch into a death sentence. Against careless predators, it's like holding a gun cocked at all times. Enter the fox, agile, suspicious, with a nose that tracks the invisible. The fox isn't just physical strength, it's intelligence in motion. Light paws make it a ghost on the terrain, ears always erect, eyes calculating distance and opportunity. If the snake is the ambush, the fox is the dodge. One leap, a step back, a side step, and the killer strike becomes a miscalculation. The fox knows how to wait for the exact instant. With sharp jaws and teeth made to crush small bones, it can dart in and retreat even faster, testing the serpent's patience until fatigue does the talking. On the scales, two very different fighting styles. The snake bets everything on one shot. If it lands, game over, no debate. But if it misses, that's where danger lives. The fox doesn't need to win immediately, doesn't need seconds to finish. It can provoke, tire, wear down. It's the fighter who plays the clock, waiting for the opponent to open a gap. And the final detail, size matters. Smaller snakes stand little chance against an adult fox. Larger, extremely venomous species, like cobras or rattlesnakes, can swing the tide but still face the fox's speed and smarts. In the most common one-on-ones, in open environments, the fox has the edge. Venom is powerless if it isn't delivered, and cunning beats pure patience. Winner, the fox, the strategist of the fight, a master of evasion who turns battle into a game of endurance. Once the snake has wasted its strikes, the fox tightens the noose, and then there's not much left of the reptile but silence in the brush. So, be honest, whose side are you on? The snake's treacherous venom waiting in the dark, or the fox's cunning dodging danger like it's a game? Maybe you see yourself as the snake, direct and lethal, or as the fox, calculating and stealthy. Maybe a bit of both. Careful, in real life, choosing wrong in this duel can cost you. Number 12, snake versus mongoose. On one side, the snake, the sinuous shadow of nature, a body that's a living cable of muscle, primed to strike with lightning speed. On the other, the mongoose, a small mammal with an almost harmless look, yet famous for challenging the impossible. It's like watching a martial arts duel between a master of poison and an agile fighter who never stops moving. The snake is a walking chemistry lab. Its bite isn't just physical, it's a death contract. Depending on the species, venom can attack the nervous system, paralyze muscles, or even dissolve tissue. And the precision is stunning. When it launches a strike, speed can exceed 100 km/h. It's like an invisible boxing punch, so fast the eyes can barely track it. A lethal weapon in reptile form. But the mongoose doesn't panic, it doesn't run or hide. On the contrary, it faces the snake head on, almost taunting it. It's small, but its courage is colossal. Its reflexes are so quick they seem to defy physics. Agile leaps, millimetric dodges, movements like a martial artist who trained a lifetime for this moment. And it's not just agility, its body has a natural resistance to certain types of venom. That means even if it gets tagged, it often survives, something that would be instant doom for other animals. While the snake measures distance, the mongoose circles, teasing, analyzing, waiting for the exact fraction of a second. The snake stretches, fires the strike, but the little mammal is a blur of fur. A side jump, a spin, and suddenly the mongoose's sharp teeth find the snake's most vulnerable spot, the head, and there's no second chance. Once it grips, it doesn't let go. Point to the snake, lethal venom, jaw-dropping strike, pure intimidation. Point to the mongoose, superhuman reflexes, partial venom resistance, overflowing courage, needle-sharp teeth. In the end, who wears the crown? The mongoose. The snake may be the terror of the fields, but against this tiny warrior, the game changes. It doesn't just survive the strike, it turns the fight into a spectacle, and usually walks away with dinner secured. And now, looking at this scene, you might be thinking, would I have a mongoose's courage? Easy. No need to go picking fights with snakes. But maybe the next time life throws a venomous problem at you, you'll remember this little furry hero. Who knew the bravest animal on the savannah could fit in the palm of your hand. Number 11. Snake versus raccoon. The snake is the portrait of lethal silence. It doesn't need bulging muscles or sharp claws. Its body is pure strategy, scales that glide without sound, cold eyes calculating every move, and venom that can turn a bite into a sentence. It's patient. It doesn't run. It waits. And when it attacks, it's too fast for hesitation. One well-placed strike in fractions of a second can decide the fight. The raccoon is the opposite. Noisy, clever, full of tricks. This small mammal seems born to improvise in any situation. Don't underestimate its size. The raccoon is agile, with sharp nails, strong teeth, and above all, intelligence. It doesn't see the world on instinct alone. It analyzes, manipulates, solves problems. It's the nature's street thief. It fiddles, flips, deceives, and hits where least expected. Now imagine the duel. The snake coils, body tense, tongue trembling in the air like a radar searching for the slightest vibration. The raccoon watches restless, clearly not interested in playing the victim. It has mobility. It can climb, bite, or simply bolt at the right time to tire the serpent out. The snake strike, fast as a snap, but the raccoon isn't a distracted target. It can dodge, counter with vicious bites, even pin the snake with its paws. And here's the difference. While the snake relies on venom to win, the raccoon can use brute force and cunning to take control. There are records of raccoons facing large snakes and walking away the winners simply because they don't give up easily. So who wins? In the forest ring, the snake is deadly, yes, but against a raccoon, its odds drop a lot. The mammal not only shrugs off venom better than common prey, it also has quick reflexes and punishing bites. In the end, the snake loses the war of attrition and gets subdued. The trophy goes to the raccoon, so tell me, were you rooting for the snake or the raccoon? Be honest. If you pick the snake, you've been warned. Watch your step at night. You never know when a clever raccoon might decide to test its skills on you. Number 10. Snake versus owl. Night falls, the stage lit only by the moon. Two creatures face off, both shaped by nature to hunt, survive, and when needed, kill. On one side, the snake, silent, lethal, an entire muscle coiled like a spring ready to fire. On the other, the owl, mistress of the dark, with eyes that see in near absolute blackness, and wings that slice the air without a whisper. The snake is pure ground efficiency. Its muscles allow attacks in fractions of a second, launching its head forward like a venom-tipped arrow. If it bites, venom takes over. Neurotoxins that paralyze, hemotoxins that turn blood to chaos. An animal that doesn't need haste. One bite and death becomes a matter of time. But the owl is no less impressive. Its talons, sharp as blades, exert pressure comparable to the bite of a medium-sized dog. A natural rotary saw in finger form, built to pierce hide, bone, and scales. Its eyes are night radars, catching the slightest motion in the dark, and its flight is invisible. Aerial ambush worthy of a feathered ninja. Picture it, the snake coiled on the ground, body rippling in a hypnotic pattern. The owl watches from above, patient. The reptile lifts its head, ready to strike. But before it moves, the bird is already dropping from the sky like a feathered missile. Total silence, just impact. Talons clamp onto the snake's body, and the fight becomes a test of strength. The serpent coils, trying to strangle. The owl squeezes, rips, pierces. A deadly dance. Squeeze versus claw, venom versus precision. In the end, nature has its favorites. The owl holds the advantage because it attacks by surprise, and the snake's venom doesn't act fast enough to save it. In many records, owls really do hunt and swallow snakes whole. Yes, whole. The aerial predator wins. And now I ask, if you were alone in the woods, no flashlight, and heard that hoot echoing in the dark, would you rather spot an owl or step on a snake in your path? Think about it. Deep down, the question isn't who wins, but which encounter would you survive to tell the story? Number 9. Snake versus skunk. The snake, silent and hypnotic, glides along the ground like a thread of shadow. Its body is pure tension, elastic muscles primed to strike, and fangs loaded with venom, ready to inject a quick or painful end. It's the archetype of the calculating predator, the one that wastes no energy. One move, one bite, and that's it. The fight can end in seconds. The snake is, without a doubt, lethality compressed into reptile form. On the other side, the skunk. It seems clumsy, with its offbeat sweet gait and that fluffy tail that looks like Grandpa's feather duster. But don't be fooled, this little mammal carries a chemical weapon on its resume that can turn confident predators into embarrassed losers. A skunk's anal glands are biological factories of liquid sulfur, a spray that doesn't just assault the nose, it humiliates. Temporary blindness, nausea, and a stench that clings to the soul for days. The snake may be cold-blooded, but it isn't immune to this invisible attack. Think about it. On one side, speed, fangs, and venom. On the other, endurance, improvisation, and a counterattack that doesn't require direct contact. Skunks are surprisingly immune to several kinds of snake venom, including rattlesnakes. That changes the game. What would normally be the serpent's trump card, the fatal bite, may simply not work against this furry foe. And while the snake tires itself trying to land a bite, the skunk keeps coming, tough as nails, and if it wants, can unleash that spray that turns any clash into chaos. If this were a bout in nature's octagon, the snake would have the early edge. Intimidation, precision, quickness. But the skunk is like that fighter who eats the punches, smiles through a broken tooth, and still has a trick up his sleeve. It doesn't rely on brute force, but on endurance and chemistry that destabilize any predator. It's a win through patience and the unexpected. Result? The skunk comes out on top. It not only survives the snake's attack, it might even eat the snake afterward. As elegant and deadly as the serpent may be, it can't overcome the skunk's natural resistance and defensive arsenal. So tell me, if you had to bet on this fight, would you put your chip on the stylish, deadly snake, or on the stinky but practically unbeatable skunk? Choose carefully. Because if you were the snake in this story, my friend, you'd already be bathing in vinegar to try to get that smell off. Number 8. Snake versus otter. Picture it, at the edge of a silent river, two forces of nature meet. On one side, the snake, cold, patient, a millennia-old predator armed with muscles coiled like compressed springs and fangs carrying enough venom to snuff out life in seconds. On the other, the otter, an agile, curious, playful mammal. But don't be fooled by the charm. Behind the cuteness is a quick, intelligent hunter with teeth sharp enough to shred flesh and bone. The snake bets everything on two weapons, venom and constriction. If it's venomous, one bite can cause paralysis and even organ failure within minutes. If it's a constrictor, each loop of its body is like a hydraulic press, able to crack ribs and suffocate even much larger animals. Silent, it's patient as a ghost, waiting, calculating, then striking so fast the human eye barely tracks it. But the otter, the otter plays in a different league. Unlike the snake, it has social intelligence and strategy. It's not a clumsy loner. It's a creature that can coordinate attacks, exploit the environment, and use water as its battlefield. In the river, the otter is basically a furry torpedo. It dives, pops up, twists, and slips away from lunges with ease. Its thick skin works like natural armor, not so easily pierced by fangs. And it knows where to hit: head, nape, the base of the body, using claws and sharp bites to carve a path to victory. Of course, the snake can flip the script with a single perfect strike. One bite to a paw or neck can envenomate or latch onto the otter, turning the fight into a race against time. But the challenge is landing that bite. The otter won't sit still. It unravels the snake's strategy with frenetic movement and, most importantly, fearlessness. Unlike other animals that shy away from a serpent, the otter stares it down, taunts, bites, and slips back, like a boxer teasing the opponent before the finishing combo. So who wins? Adding up strength, cunning, and agility, the crown goes to the otter. It doesn't just survive the snake's attack, it turns the predator into prey. There are plenty of records of otters devouring snakes whole, sometimes solo, sometimes in groups. The snake, for all its fearsome reputation, ends up coiled in the otter's stomach. Now tell me, who were you rooting for? Don't say you didn't picture the snake trying to coil while the otter laughed, dove, and came back to bite again. Yep, in the end, what looks cute is sometimes the most lethal. Still feel like dipping your hand in the water when an otter's around? In your shoes, I'd think twice. Number 7, snake versus juvenile crocodile. Imagine the scene. On one side, the snake, quick, silent, sinuous. On the other, a juvenile crocodile. Without the monstrous size of an adult, yet already carrying the promise of a relentless predator. The tension is born from contrast. Speed versus toughness, venom versus jaw. The snake brings its sharpened weapons in the form of fangs and venom. With a single, well-placed strike, it can turn a careless animal into a limp body. Its long, flexible frame is a constriction machine, able to coil and squeeze with force enough to shut down the breath of bigger prey than you'd think. And don't forget, a hungry snake knows no fear, only opportunity. Patience is its greatest ally. Wait, analyze, and attack at the exact moment. Opposite it, the young croc is basically a mini armored tank. Its thick hide is natural body armor, nearly impenetrable to teeth and fangs. Even young, its bite is strong enough to crush small bones. And that muscular tail can deliver whip-like blows. In the water, it's an ambush missile. Silent, fast, precise. On land, it may look awkward, but one explosive burst of strength can flip the script in seconds. Now picture the duel. The snake lunges, lightning fast, but biting through the crocodile's scaly armor is no simple task. It must target vulnerable points, eyes, neck, joints, and even then, venom isn't instant. Meanwhile, the crocodile needs just one solid bite to turn the tables. Once those jaws clamp down, there's no escape. And remember, crocodiles are masters of the death roll, that brutal spin that turns any prey into a helpless ragdoll. Brute force versus venomous precision, toughness versus speed. Verdict: the juvenile crocodile has the edge. Its natural armor cancels much of the snake's danger, and the difference lies in impact. Venom takes time. The bite is immediate and decisive. Young or not, it was born to be river royalty. So tell me, if you were there on the riverbank, would you root for the snake's silent cunning or the crocodile's brute force? Be honest, which one would you want at your side? Number 6, snake versus deer. The snake, sinuous and patient, is the ambush specialist. It doesn't need to run or waste energy on pointless chases. Its body is pure strategy, muscles coiled like steel cables, hollow fangs linked to venom glands, or in giant constrictors, crushing power that snaps bones like dry twigs. It doesn't bark, roar, or puff up its chest. It just waits. And when the deer lets its guard down, bending to drink or nibble leaves, that's when the serpent shows why silence can be scarier than any war cry. But the deer is no helpless pushover. Underestimating it is forgetting the power of flight and speed. Its legs are natural springs built to explode through the forest like a living arrow. And when cornered, it's not only about running, it has antlers. Sharp, curved, lethal, able to tear hide and puncture flesh. Imagine the impact of a headbutt from over 100 kilos launched in fury. It's a combo of brute force and desperation that can turn a confident predator into a surprised victim. If the duel happens, it's a clash of styles. The snake bets on patience, on a blistering strike that lasts less than half a second. The deer plays urgency, agility, and the power of a frontal charge. But here's the detail: the snake needs the prey's mistake. If the strike fails, it's exposed, slow, vulnerable. The deer, on the other hand, only needs space to run or the courage to charge. And if the antlers land, the serpent has little choice but to writhe and retreat. However, in a straight confrontation, no forest to shield, no margin for error, the balance shifts. The snake's bite can inject toxins that paralyze muscles, destroy tissue, and kill quietly, while the deer still fights to stand. In minutes, adrenaline fades, legs give out, and that mighty speed becomes a memory. Even if it thrashes, once coiled, the animal feels the implacable weight of scaly rings. So yes, one-on-one, with no chance to flee, the snake is the winner. Venom, constriction, patience. Its specialization was built to hunt creatures bigger than itself, and the deer falls like so many others on its historic prey list. Now I ask you, whose side are you on? The snake's wielding deadly silence, or the deer's banking on speed and antlers? If you were thrown into the ring, would you have the serpent's cold patience, or the deer's explosive impulsiveness? Think hard. Your answer might say more about you than about them. Number 5, snake versus rat. On one side, the snake. Cold, silent. A predator that bets everything on precision. Its body is a rope of muscle ready to strike, and its fangs carry venom capable of taking down creatures much larger than itself. The snake's weapon is patience. It waits for the perfect moment, and when it strikes, it's lightning. On the other side, the rat. Big, agile, resilient. Unlike the common mouse, this creature is brutal, with teeth sharp enough to gnaw through metal cables. Its trump card is aggression. It doesn't back down easily. It bites, tears, and fights with a courage almost insane for its size. If the snake depends on technique, the rat thrives on chaos. But in the end, nature's logic is clear. If the snake lands the strike, the venom works. Fast or slow, but always fatal. The rat may cause damage, but its toughness cannot outlast the poison. Winner, the snake. Now tell me, were you rooting for the rat, or did you already know the serpent would wear the crown? Deep down, this fight feels almost unfair. Or do you think the rat deserves a rematch? Number 4, snake versus salamander. The snake glides across the terrain like a living shadow, muscles firm, eyes locked, with a secret weapon, venom. One precise strike can be enough to end any battle. It doesn't need much effort, only time. One hit and the toxin does the work. Speed and precision are its greatest assets. On the other side, the salamander seems small, fragile, but don't be fooled. Its skin hides a poisonous ace, toxic secretions capable of paralyzing or even killing whoever dares to bite it. And beyond that, its regeneration is almost supernatural. Lose part of its tail and it grows back. Like an immortal fighter, always ready to return to the ring. In a direct duel, however, the snake has the upper hand. Its strike is too fast, its venom too lethal, and the salamander, despite its resilience, wouldn't have the time to counterattack. Winner, the snake. And you, spectator, did you bet on the salamander, thinking it was the miraculous underdog? Sometimes the little guy surprises, but not this time. Maybe in the next fight, you'll choose the right side. Number 3, snake versus crow. The snake glides in silence, pure muscle tension coiled around a thread of venom. With lightning reflexes, it transforms a simple movement into a lethal threat. A strike faster than a blink. Its venom isn't just a weapon, it's a sentence. One hit and the opponent's body begins to falter. Coldness, calculation, precision. But on the other side stands the crow. Clever, opportunistic, a true strategist of the skies. Not just brute force, intelligence. It observes, waits, analyzes. It knows when to attack, when to retreat. With sharp beaks and wings that allow sudden maneuvers, it doesn't face its enemy head on. It attacks from above, distracts, deceives. The crow fights dirty because it knows survival isn't about honor. It's about efficiency. In a direct clash, the snake may be deadly, but against aerial cunning, the reptile is at a disadvantage. The crow strikes and retreats, drains its energy until the snake tires. Result, the crow takes this one. So tell me, viewer, have you ever thought about it? Are you like the snake, trying to solve everything with brute force? Or like the crow, winning with adaptability? Which side would you be on? Number 2, snake versus chicken. On one side, the snake, silent, flexible, patient. Its body is pure strategy, gliding with barely a sound, coiling like a living rope, ready to crush or bite. Depending on the species, it can rely on deadly venom or the raw force of scales and muscles, turning every movement into a loop of death. Stealthy, cold, precise, it strikes at exactly the right moment, never wasting energy. On the other side, the chicken, apparently fragile, but underestimating it is a mistake. It has sharp claws, a beak like an unforgiving pincer, and lightning reflexes. When cornered, it transforms into a warrior, scratching, jumping, unleashing furious pecks, wings slapping like blows of pure rage. Anyone who's seen a hen protecting her chicks knows courage is something she has in abundance, but courage alone isn't enough. The snake, with its lethal technique and predatory design, has the advantage. In a direct battle, the reptile is the champion. Now confess, were you rooting for the chicken? Or did you already know the snake would strike true? Number 1, snake versus turtle. The snake is the pure definition of agility and venom. A body as flexible as a whip, reflexes sharp as lightning, and fangs that can pierce flesh in seconds. Patient, calculating, it puts everything into one precise strike. But on the other side, the turtle, the armored tank of nature. Its shell works like a medieval fortress, able to withstand bites, scratches, and even assaults from predators far larger. The snake can try 1,000 bites, but if it doesn't find the weak points, the neck or the legs, it's useless. The fangs just glance off keratin armor. The turtle, meanwhile, isn't fast, but it's tireless. Its powerful jaws can crush hard fruits and even small bones. And if it manages to clamp down on the snake at the right moment, the fight can flip instantly. And the winner, thanks to its nearly impenetrable resistance, the turtle takes this one. The snake may tire and retreat, but the turtle remains firm, the indestructible shield. Now tell me, if you were in this battle, would you be the agile snake that never stops striking, or the armored turtle that waits calmly for the perfect moment? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out the other awesome content that's popping up on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.